Hello, hello, I'm Jerry Fort. Welcome to Jungle Jerry's Treehouse. I'm going to read a story out of this book called The Monster Book, Creatures, Beasts, Fiends, and Fiends of Nature by Nick Redfern. So, the story we're going to do today is called Alligators in the Sewers. I heard about this kind of stuff when I was a young man, because people were actually getting, baby alligators and flushing them down the toilet. And they were making their way to the sewers. And they were eating, like rats and all kinds of stuff like that. And they were actually getting big. Let's see, what page is that? 71. Let's read about that. Alligators in the sewers. Perhaps the most terrifying of all monsters are those that we know exist, and when they are right under our feet, as in literally, they become even more fear-inducing. Take, for example, the alligators of New York. We're talking about those immense bone-crunching beasts that lurk deep within the winding sewers and subways beneath the Big Apple. Most people assume that the stories of New York's people eating alligators are nothing more than the stuff of myth and urban legend. The reality is they could not be further from the truth. Proof that alligators have been on the loose in the city for decades was provided way back in February of 1935 by none other than the New York Times. The story was spelled out in an article titled "Alligator Found in Uptown Sewer. Youth Shoveling Snow see animal churning in icy water," as the newspaper noted. The gang of boys, led by Salvatore Condalucci, actually stabbed it to death after it was seen lurking in the sewers on 123rd Street, close to the Harlem River. For more than 3 decades, Teddy May was the commissioner of sewers in New York. He has gone on record as stating that he heard tales of alligators roaming the sewers of the city as far back as the 1930s, the same time frame in which the New York Times reported on the violent encounter at 123rd Street. May conceded that he took little interest in the reports, since he felt it was all a case of folklore and legend, and certainly not reality. As the reports grew in number, however, May decided that enough was enough, and it was time for him to take a look for himself at what possibly was going on way below New York. To May's amazement and terror, after descending into that darkened, mysterious subterranean realm, he stumbled upon a number of significantly sized alligators swimming in the sewer waters. The stories, he instantly realized, were not just stories after all. Not surprisingly, May beat a hasty retreat. Then there's the story of Mark Cherry, a man who maintains that one night in 1966, he was the solitary passenger standing on the platform at 149th Street Grand Concourse, when he was forcefully grabbed by a pair of police officers who told him there had been a flooding in one of the tunnels and he had to leave immediately. The somewhat heavy-handed approach of the officers puzzled Cherry, that is, until he caught sight of something as he was being practically frog-marched away from the platform. According to Cherry, what he saw was a group of subway employees hauling the bodies of a large albino alligator out of one of the tunnels, along with a body bag of the type in which a human body would be placed. Significantly, said Cherry, the body bag was clearly not empty. The implication was that the unfortunate soul inside had been attacked and killed by the alligator, which in turn had been killed by the police. Realizing that Cherry now knew what really happened, the officer sternly warned him not to speak of what he had seen, which Cherry did not until 2004. It is a good indication of the fear that was drilled into Cherry back in 1966 that he was still concerned, nearly 40 years later, that someone in authority might pay him a visit and silence him again, but this time permanently. Fortunately, nothing so conspiratorial ever occurred. Indeed, taking any kind of retaliatory action against Cherry would only have validated his story. While sightings and claims of alligators in the sewers of New York are nowhere near as prevalent as they are decades ago, the controversy still provokes intrigue and fascination, and just maybe, if we are to believe Mark Cherry, more than a few New Yorkers may have become the victims and the dinners of huge, vicious alligators. Okay. I used to like to adventure, just go into the creeks, what they call irrigation ditches out in fields, catch crawdads, minnows, little bullhead catfish, tadpoles, frogs. I used to do all that. And used to seine, the seine. I'd get my little brother to help me, and we'd put it across rivers and catch all kinds of stuff, venture out into the woods. I'm surprised I survived my childhood. Oh, man. Okay, well, there you go. Alligators in the sewers. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. The Monster Book, Creatures, Beasts, and Fiends of Nature by Nick Redfern. See you all on the next one.